If there's something I've discovered on the path, is that we really don't have private thoughts. We want to believe we do. The ego uh, reassures us that we do, has us believe that we do, that we are separate from other beings, that the thoughts that we have are not thoughts that they have, that our experience is different, that we are alone in our experience. All of that, all based on separation, that no one else is going through what we're going through, that our opinions don't have, if we keep them to ourselves, they don't have an effect on the other or on my experience, that my judgments don't have an effect on the people around me if I keep them to myself, if I keep them private. And what we're coming to know is that none of this is private. This is not a private conversation, what we keep thinking in our mind. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Just seeing a turkey vulture flying over right here. That might be significant for someone. I know that vultures they represent sort of like finishing off, closing off, because they clean, they purify, they take away all the things, the remnants. That is their duty or their role in the cycle of life. They come in with the leftovers. They take care of the leftovers. And so I'm coming on here because, why am I coming on here? There was something on my heart that I wanted to share. And I found this beautiful spot with this gorgeous tree. Check that out. Ooh. Oh, yes, I remember now. I know what we're talking about. Do you think that what you think about in the privacy of your home, or even in the privacy of your mind, is actually private? Have you ever thought about that? If there's something I've discovered on the path, is that we really don't have private thoughts. And let me explain. Yeah. We want to believe we do. The ego uh, reassures us that we do, has us believe that we do, that we are separate from other beings, that the thoughts that we have are not thoughts that they have, that our experience is different, that we are alone in our experience. All of that, all based on separation. And it's a huge lie, a huge illusion. And private thoughts are a big part of the, let's say, support system to make us believe that we are alone, that no one else is going through what we're going through, that our opinions don't have, if we keep them to ourselves, they don't have an effect on the other or on my experience, that my judgments don't have an effect on the people around me if I keep them to myself, if I keep them private. And what we're coming to know is that none of this is private. This is not a private conversation, what we keep thinking in our mind. That's why the mind watching is so important. That's why we really have to be attentive to what we're doing, where we're putting our thoughts, and where our thoughts are leading us. What kind of thoughts are we having? Where is our energy being channeled? And I say this because ultimately, our thoughts aren't private, because we are always, 333 as I say that, always having a conversation with God, with the universe. It is like a consistent prayer that we are putting out. You know that saying that says like, worrying is like praying for bad things to happen? In a sense, that is, and that's a perfect example of how private thoughts, things that we're thinking about, we're worrying about, we're in fear about, we're judging others about, all this is, it's not just us. It's the energy that we're putting out into the world. These thoughts, These thought forms come from the mind. And if we understand that the mind is the mirror, is the projector of all this experience that we're having, then we better be watching what's on our mind, and not to be like, oh, we're going to get punished. No, it's just that it's just a reciprocal relationship. It's what's going to happen. If we are being judgmental, we will automatically believe in judgment, believe that others judge us because that's what we do to others. Yeah. Like if we are saying things to ourselves in sabotage and in doubt, and I always talk about this. I don't want to put guilt upon this stuff. It's about releasing it. The ultimate thing is about releasing it and realizing that it isn't truly private. Exposing the ego, exposing everything that's an illusion about who you are. And so when we have these private thoughts, what we're doing is having a consistent conversation with the universe, with spirit. Spirit is forever listening, not to be like a creep and listening in. It's listening because it's always paying attention to where you are, what consciousness level you're at, right? Where your heart is. And the thoughts that we're having are putting out an energy and magnetizing certain things towards us. So it's certain experiencing, manifesting inevitably, automatically as a byproduct. We are manifesting, not because we're focusing on it. We're manifesting these experiences or this, whatever's showing up for us because of what's truly in the mind. Yeah. Showing one face in front of people and then being another way in private is not really hidden. It's not really private. That's what I'm getting to. You know, the universe is listening. Spirit is listening. It is not a private conversation. And so us being more aware that we are not, nothing is being hidden. And we may have shame about the things that we think, and to think, oh my God, what do you mean it's not private? Well, the truth is that there's a collective mind, a collective unconscious mind, which is the ego. That collective mind has all the things that are hidden, right? All the things that we put away, that are taboo, that we're not supposed to talk about. It's ocean rescue. Little lizard. The collective ego is what we're tapping into. And most of our private thoughts, I mean, we may have positive private thoughts, but whether they're positive or negative, we are still having a conversation. We are still energetically emanating who we are. And who we are is what we will attract, is what we will experience, is what will come to us. Yeah? It's not about what we do or what we envision. It's about who we are. And who we are is that energy that we're emanating, and that energy that we're emanating stems from the thoughts that we're having, from the beliefs that power those thoughts. And so if we're judging others, if we are obsessing about something or something different, if we are in disconnection with who we truly are, and we think we may have like this idea that is private, it isn't. It isn't. We have some kiddos, some nature school kids. So I was a nature school mom and a nature school teacher. Anyhow, I'm gonna move so I can let them have their space. Basically, this is all to bring to light the fact that we are not living a private life, in the sense that the universe is always with us. It's always conspiring for us. And for us means whatever experiences we need in any given moment because of what we believe in. For us means bringing us to relationships, to jobs, to places, to situations that will ultimately heal us and liberate us. It's always for us. And it may bring really positive experiences, like it may bring something that may be challenging, but is there to heal, is there to be looked at. And so our private thoughts, let's not get it twisted. Our private thoughts aren't really private. What we're doing is that we're tapping in. We are tapping in to the collective. Yeah? The collective ego, specifically when we're trying to hide. I'm speaking more about hiding ideas, right? The collective ego that believes that things are separate, that believes that we are all not having the same experience, that we are all in our own world and we're suffering from different things. But the truth is that when we expose these thoughts, not only do we start to heal them, not only do we start to release them, but we also begin to realize, especially if we're exposing in a safe place or into our journal or into, with mighty companions, people who are safe to us, who are in a similar purpose on the path. When we start to expose the ego, we realize we are not alone. And we realize that that is not us. That is not us. The collective ego is not us. It is the unconscious mind that has been running the show for society and for us at an individual level, because the trick is, the illusion is that it's you. It's only happening to you. The suffering is only yours. The story is only yours. And yes, while we do have our individual stories and we can all learn from those, and we do seemingly have these individual bodies, let us remember these are not private thoughts. This is not a private conversation. It is a consistent conversation, a consistent emanating prayer that we're putting out. And it's not to add guilt. Let's be very specific about that. It's not to add guilt. It's about raising awareness. It's about activating consciousness. It's about mind training. It's about being aware of what I'm thinking, of what doubts are coming up, of what things I'm obsessing over, of what fears I have in any given situation, and realizing that actually the cure to getting that out is feeling it and sharing it, exposing the ego, so that I can realize I'm not alone, so that I can actually realize the illusion that it is, dissolve it. Many times just by journaling, and you write it down and you're like, wow, just by releasing, just by speaking up. And so let's not keep things to ourselves first, right? Let's not keep it to ourselves, believing that nobody else is having this experience or that we're going to be judged. Yes, find a safe place to do it. If it's a journal, if it's a mighty companion, if it's a partner, find a safe place to do it. Because when we expose the ego, the purpose is to do it together. It's like a teamwork, right? We're in the same purpose. We both know that all this crap, beliefs, doubts that are coming up, even attractions and addictive habits in the mind, whatever it is, they are all there to be exposed. And if we are in purpose with other people around us, and I promise you that the more you become aware of this and the more you do the mind training and the more you do the work, you will begin to attract people who are doing the work, who are there to listen, who are going through the same thing. And so we start to expose those thoughts with the purpose of letting it go, of seeing the nothingness and seeing the lie for what it is, allowing the illusion to dissolve, because that's not who we are. And as soon as we clean the mind of these quote unquote private thoughts that are keeping us safe, we're actually allowing the light to pour through, to come out of the fountain within us, so that we can shine, because we've purified the mind, because we've released, we've allowed the egoic block that's really just like a cloud to dissolve, to move away, to be gone. Because we've exposed the ego, because we're not holding on to this idea that it's private, that it's alone. So let's not fall into the lie that when we're having private thoughts, this is what's happening. It is not a private conversation. You are always emanating, always speaking with the universe, always talking to spirit, whether it's like this vocally or internally. There is an emanating energy that is always coming from you, and it is a continuous conversation. So let's start to be more mindful and let's start to expose the ego together, because these subconscious thoughts and unconscious beliefs that will come to surface, and then we want to keep private because we're ashamed or we have guilt about them. Of course, everything in discernment, everything in its own time. 444 is I'd say that. But understanding that at a foundational level, they are not what define us. They are actually there to be looked at and to be released so that we can experience what truly defines us, which is our identity in love, in God, in truth, which is connection to everything, which is the breaking down of this wall and this idea of separation. This is what it is. And so, yeah, let's start watching our minds together. Let's start being attentive, vigilant, as the Course in Miracles says, to what's showing up and what's actually trying to keep me from communicating. What we think is a private conversation, what we think is a private thought, is many times a call to communication, a call to go towards a brother, a sister, instead of actually keeping it from them, right? Yes, it is important to be discerning. It is important to, walk the path and just become more aware. But I would say we start with looking at our thoughts. We start with realizing that the more I expose the thoughts, whether onto a piece of paper or with a safe person or a safe group, the more I begin to do that, the more I begin to dissolve, and I realize it's just an experience that happens, that we are not alone, that we're all tapping into the same thing. And then ultimately, that our truth is one, that our light is one, that the love, the source of life within us is one, that God is one in all of us. And we are here to experience that. Is that a copy? Yeah. Just patrolling the area, making sure things are safe. So yeah, let's patrol our own mind. Let's patrol our own mind and do ourselves the gift of releasing this idea that private thoughts is just something between me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I is connected to the all. All right, my dear friends. Love you all. See you next time.